Hey guys, this is part 2 of the game between Fubsy and Pherzhus. Please click anywhere on the screen to go back to part 1 if you missed it. If not, let's continue on. Interesting play here. He's got his Zergling sitting right here. This is a good idea. Just one Zergling, it's almost nothing. It's 25 minerals worth of a unit. And that way he knows when I decide to expand. He knows exactly when. So he knows, as of right now, that he has the economic advantage because he has 2 bases mining, even though this one only has a couple drones, and I only have 1. Looks like I've got my Zealot legs researching. I'm going to give my Zealot some charge, because that way they can run into that base and do whatever it is they need to do. They don't have to sit back and just get eaten up by roaches or whatever it is it's going to eat them up. I got my units here. I have a gateway. I've got my warp gate technology up. And looks like my starport just finished, and I have 1 void ray out, getting a second, chrono boosting it out. Same time, my opponent has 1 queen. He's got his lair, and he's got bunch of workers, got a bunch of non-used larvae. Look at all those larvae. See, this is not the best. He should be using these larvae for something. Now I understand his minerals and gas are a little bit low, but you should be trying to get these larvae being used. Otherwise, your spawn larva from your queen isn't really doing as much as it could be. Got 2 spine crawlers here for a little bit of defense. Interesting place on the spine crawlers. It's not bad, but what's tough about this map is that your ramp is really far away from your expansion. Look at all of this space right here. And I could also just swoop in the other way. I could just come in from down here instead. So I might want to spread my creep out, spread it out to here, and maybe put a spine crawler over here. Put another one maybe down here, or maybe up there to block the ramp a little bit more. My opponent doesn't look like he likes to spawn his creep, doesn't like to spread around very much. Spine crawlers are interesting here, but once again, if I go for a quick build, I can just sneak my units back here, and then I can just take it out instead. Going for the Spire, trying to go for some Mutalisk. It's always a good idea against Protoss. Now, while he did that, I waited until I had 2 Void Rays. There they are. They're the 2 Void Rays. Then I moved my units out. This is a little 2-pronged attack, a little trick I learned. I like it a lot. Where I start attacking with my units over here, just to kind of pull his queen away, pull his roaches over, just trying to get his interest on this side of what I'm doing. And then, as soon as I can tell that I have his whole army, or at least what I feel would be the majority of his army, there comes his roaches now. So that's what I was talking about before. He doesn't have any defense right here. None. And so I was able to sneak up his ramp. This is a very good idea here, letting my units attack. But the reason I'm doing it over here, he's retreating his roaches back, trying to get me in range of these spine crawlers. But while he's doing that, I move in my void rays. I charge him up on the gas first. Always charge up there if you can, and then go for the queen. Now as soon as I get that queen down, I start killing stuff. Now, I got my void rays on this side. I moved my army over here. My army is almost decimated, but luckily my opponent only had roaches. And his Hydralisk, he had a Hydralisk den. What is that? Hydralisk den is somewhere there. There's his Hydralisk den. But his Hydralisk pop out, and they're just not doing enough damage because my void rays are now fully charged, and they are just taking out those Hydralisks one by one. Have another void ray there. I don't have any other units right now. Just my 2 void rays. I have 1 Zealot here. He's been a trooper. But that's gone. But my opponent is stuck with roaches. And his roaches can't do anything against these void rays, unfortunately. Look how low this void ray is on health. 40 health, 10 shields. 50 health, but the roaches can't shoot up. So, when I use my void ray, I charge him up, and then I make sure I try to take out all the workers first, get the economic advantage if I can. Because that way, if he fights these void rays off, well, he has no workers going on down here, whereas I've got my booming economy. Well, it's not that booming. You can see I've kind of slacked off on building workers. I should have a lot more workers than that. That's my own mistake. I have my 2 Void Rays. They're going to move down to this. They're going to destroy this hatchery. Now that they're fully charged, look how quickly 2 Void Rays can take out a hatchery. So fast. So fast. Start taking out his pop up the Hydralisks, but now that my shields are fully charged, there's not really much you can do. This Void Ray being a trooper, got 20 kills. Look at that. 20 kills. What a trooper. After we move on to this hatchery, looks like we've got a 3rd Void Ray coming in. Once again, like I made the same mistake in this game that I did in the last game, where well, not quite the same. Looks like I'm doing a little bit better, where I'm building some gateways, I'm building another pylon. Looks like I'm preparing myself, just in case he happens to take out these 3 void rays. Well, that's okay, because I have warp gates, I've got gate technology, I've got my Zealot legs. I can warp in an army really quickly to defend against any sort of push back. Now that my void rays, they're going to start making their way down here, taking out some overlords while they can. And then they're going to start moving towards this expansion. Now, it looks like my opponent has a couple Hydralisks. Just 3 Hydralisks and the rest are roaches. That's really not going to do much. 3 Hydralisks and a queen don't really stand a chance against 3 void rays, especially now that they're fully charged. So the void rays, make sure I take out those Hydralisks first. Oh, he took out one Void Ray, but I still have two. Now that they're fully charged, there's not much more he can do. My opponent knows this, he recognizes the fact, and he decides to leave the game. It was a really good match, but the Void Ray, where I snuck in the army this way, and like I said, this is just so hard to defend because there's just nothing there. He didn't spread any creep, and so he had nothing to stop my army. I just came in swooping this way. I swooped in over here, and I came up this ramp, and I was able to get into his base. I did a little bit of miss micro because I let my army chill down here and attack those roaches. And even though I had the high ground, it still wasn't a very advantageous position, and I could have just moved in and started taking out the workers even faster. As soon as I had the full attention of his army, I then swooped in my Void Rays from up here. I brought him down here, charged him up on the gas, this gas right here. Then I started picking up his workers, picking up Hydralisks and roaches, and then I took out his main base. And from there, there wasn't much more that my opponent can do. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and it was nice to meet you.